Thank you to another episode of The Unexpected Detour. Where in life detours are inevitable. I'm your host, Frances Hammond. And for Black History Month, I managed to get one of my sisters from the resilience of Black women confronting breast cancer to tell her story. Her name is Tamika Baker. And she is a survivor. She's a mom. She's a hero. She's gonna tell you her story about her breast cancer. Now you gotta remember everybody's story is different. And Tamika's is different. From what I've known, she has had a mastectomy, something I know nothing about. So she had a mastectomy. She has her own business as well called Pink Breastie Sista. And she makes bracelets. They're awesome. Custom made bracelets. They're really, really awesome. So with that, I'm going to let Tamika tell you her story with breast cancer. Tamika, let's start, and you can tell us how you found out about your lump.
Well, hi everybody. How you doing this evening? Well, it was 2021. I was going to do my regular annual exam in January with a new OBGYN because my OBGYN retired. And I was giving her the concerns that I was having about my body, but she was kind of very dismissive, rushing through the exams and just told me, just go get your regular mammogram. You'll be fine. Everything is fine. I don't see nothing wrong. So I went and got my mammogram annual like I normally do. I started at, I want to say I was about 42, 43 when I started doing my mammograms. And I went to get my annual mammogram January 2021. Everything was fine. What's going on with my life? Not knowing a tumor was growing inside of me. I spoke to my PCP and let him know that I felt uneasy about my new OBGYN because I felt she was very dismissive and she wasn't listening to my concerns where I was having spotting. I had known that I had one fibroid, but I didn't know the update of what was going on with it. So he got me another OBGYN. He referred me to another one. And so that was around August, September. So when I went, excuse me, to Dr. A, excuse me, to Dr. A, um, such a delightful person, very cheerful. And I was giving her my concerns about the spotting, the mood swings, the night sweats, because I'm thinking I'm going through menopause or perimenopause. So she said, well, let's do an ultrasound since you have a fibroid and you haven't had one in a while. So before I even left her office, we did one that day. And so she brought me in the office. She said, well, I don't know why they told you just had one, or maybe they just hadn't been monitoring it, but you have went from one to three. Not only do you have three, you have a polyp with those three fibroids. And she said the one that you had is probably the one that's the biggest now. Is much larger. So we discussed options on, whether I want to do a removal, with medication or surgery. So we started out with medication. So that, like I said, that was around August or September. So right around October, I'm getting ready to get myself together for. Mhm. I'm getting ready to get. Bless you. I'm getting ready to get myself together for my trip for Thanksgiving to see my family in Atlanta. And I noticed when I was putting on a bra that I found a lump. And in my mind, I'm like, well, it might not necessarily be concerning because we don't have breast cancer in the family, never had a history of it. The only thing that we have in our family is prostate cancer. So I asked my significant other to touch it, and he said, yeah, it does feel, weird. But he said, when you go back to the doctor, I said, well, I don't go back to December. So he said, well, just go on your trip. I said, yeah, I'm just going on my trip. I ain't gonna worry about it. We'll talk about it in December. Excuse me.
Good.
Yeah. So when I went in December, I went on my trip, came back in December to do my annual exam with her. And in the midst of that, she had to extract the polyp and because it was doing what it was doing. And with her doing my exam, I said, I found a lump, but I don't think it's nothing concerning because I don't have breast cancer in my family. So she touched it. She said, well, I feel like it's concerning because it doesn't feel right to me. And we're going to get you a mammogram. I said, well, I already had one at the beginning of the year. She said, well, you're going to have another one before the end of the year, and it's going to be diagnostic. And I said, well, the end of the year is next week. So how are we going to have one next week? She said, between now and next week, you need to get another mammogram, and it need to be diagnostic, and you need to get the ultrasound with it. And I said, okay. So I did everything on December 31st, 2021, got my mammogram, got my ultrasound. They told me that they wanted to bring me back in just to do a biopsy and marker. Still, in my mind, nothing is wrong. You don't have breast cancer in your family, so you're good. And the other reason why I thought that is because my two sisters and my mom had benign tumors before. They was not cancerous that they had removed. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's just me. It's just that's something might run in the family. So January came, I did the biopsy, and I was working, and they called me and said, we need you to come into the office to get your results. And I said, okay, good. So I came in, Dr. A normally be bubbly, and that day she was not bubbly. And she just gave it to me straight. And she was like, you have breast cancer. And I didn't hear nothing else she said after that. I didn't hear you could cure it. I didn't hear the stage. I didn't hear nothing but cancer. And she kind of like did me like this because I kind of blanked out. and, and before I knew it, I just burst out crying. And she said, did you hear anything I said, no. She said, well, it looks like it's early stage. She said, I don't read these. She said, but it does look like it's early stage. And the way cures and treatment are now, you'll be fine. You can be cured. It's gonna be okay. And so I said, all I hear is cancer. All I hear is cancer. She said, I know that's what you hear, but I need you to relax and we gonna get through this. And I said, okay.
I know the feeling. You
Yeah,
just
yeah.
blank out.
Yeah, you just
Walking
blank
around,
out. And it's
cancer,
like
not me.
cancer, just the word cancer. I don't care
Yeah.
what kind of cancer it is, just the
Right.
word itself just throws you for a loop.
Yes.
And so that's when my journey started, the end of January 2022, where I went and got 3 consultations for the surgical oncologist. Then I finally picked the one that I want. And it was like a speed because at that point they told me I had stage 2, triple negative, grade 2B. And they said because my tumor was the size of a golf ball, and
Wow.
that it was speed, it's speed because they looked at the mammogram that I had in January to December and how rapidly it just grew
It
from
grew.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was nothing there unless it was tiny and they couldn't see it. It was nothing there in January. But
Right.
by October, I have a tumor. So February 28th, 2022. I can remember it just like the back of my hand was my first day of chemo. And I did 6 months of chemo. I did a double mastectomy. I did the deep flap, and I'm here today.
Did you have to have a mastectomy?
I didn't have to have a mastectomy.
It
They
was a
gave me
choice.
that was my choice. So in the 3 consultations that I had, 2 of them, the second one that I went to, I actually turned around because he was a general surgeon and I didn't feel comfortable about that. So the 2 choices that I had left was the breast surgical oncologist, which I did feel comfortable about, but one had a better bedside manner than the other.
Right.
But they
I
all gave,
experienced that.
yes, yes. And they all had the same treatment, the same diagnosis. And in both of those treatments, they gave me the option of doing a lumpectomy. But if I would have done a lumpectomy, I would have had to have radiation as
Okay.
well as with lumpectomies for triple negative, and a lot of women do it because it is your choice. With triple negative has a higher chance of reoccurrence. So
Okay.
that's what made my decision even easier, because I just did not want to have the higher chance of having reoccurrence. The second reason was my tatas were so small, it didn't matter whether they was there or not.
They're a little small, a little more.
Yeah, I got some nice ones now. But yeah, it was that was an easy decision to make. And the other reason why I did the deep flap is because I could have did implants, but during my time of treatment, and actually even before I started treatment, I just started doing a lot of research, because when I was told I had triple negative, in my mind, when you say negative, that's a good thing. Even though
Right,
it's cancer, oh, you
right.
good. And they was like, no, no,
It's the
that's not
opposite. Yeah.
right. They was like, triple negative, we don't know what fed your cancer. So it's just like, you just in the air. They can't. It doesn't go by your hormones. It doesn't go by your progesterone. It doesn't go by any of that.
Yeah, because it doesn't, according to what I've read, it doesn't produce those hormones.
Yes,
Like
it
me,
just
I'm positive, so it overexpression of the hormones,
yes.
whereas you have the underexpression of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it made it easier for me to make those decisions, because, like I said, with the research I was doing, and then I started looking at some of the survivors on YouTube. And shout out to your favorite PO, Brittany.
Then,
Her,
oh,
she's on YouTube. She was my go-to for a lot of decisions that I made, because not only did she have triple negative, which I can relate, she had a lumpectomy and it came back. And
okay.
so she had to have go through it again. She did a deep flap, but it was some things that didn't go right with her surgery, which made me write those things down. So when I went to my doctor, so when I finally actually met her, I was like, you don't understand how much your YouTube channel helped
Oh,
me
you
with
met her?
some of the sick. Yes, yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. She lives here in Houston,
Oh,
and
what's her
we
name? Brittany?
Brittany. Her name is Brittany. Her page is your favorite PO. She's a parole officer.
Oh,
And,
okay. I
and
must follow her.
yes, yes. And we was both at a breast cancer event.
And
And
maybe
when
we could get her on our thing.
yes, yes, yes. We was at a breast cancer event for Survive Her, which is a organization that's based out of Houston, but she goes to different cities. Lindsay. And we met, and I just told her, at that time when I was going through what I was going through, I went on social media. I wasn't, I kind of like kept it in my small circle
Right,
with my family and my
right,
closest friends.
right.
And I had already got off of social media during the pandemic, because I had a brother to pass, I had some cousins to get COVID, I had some classmates to pass. So I went in kind of like a deep depression, to where I just
Oh,
did
okay.
work, stay, because I work from home. So it was like work, sit on the couch and eat, work, sit on the couch, and just kept from being right, and kept from being around other people. So even though with triple negative, they don't know where it comes from, some of the habits I feel like that I created for myself during the pandemic, it enhanced my chances to get breast cancer, because weight is an issue. I've never been as big as I was until the day I got on the scale for my first chemo. I was 180 pounds, and I couldn't believe it. And she was like, "You've been sitting around eating a lot, haven't you?" I said, "Yep." And so I was,
Wow.
yeah, I was eating, I was drinking. I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna be honest. That's the type of person I am. I
That's why I
literally,
like you, because you just transparent.
I'm just transparent. I
Yeah.
had, I used to go to the store to get food, and
Mhm.
then I had a refrigerator full of wine, just
Oh,
full of it. So I was just eating, drinking, eating, drinking, eating, drinking, and just and just my mind kept, thinking the worst. And my significant other, of course, he had to go out the worst. So I would get on him about, take your clothes. I was just stressed out. So those are some of the things that, like I said, the habits that I had that
Right.
I felt like may have carried me through that with the weight, with the drinking, and with the stress.
I try to express to women that I swear weight has a lot to do with it.
Yes.
Because I remember when I was like 170 pounds, and
Mm-hmm.
that doctor said, you're overweight. And I was like, then I would be a string bean. He was like, your weight should be 137. But I was young, dumb. I ain't pay him no mind. But then when menopause set in, the
And
weight.
that's the other thing, the menopause, the
Mhm.
perimenopause. I was going through it. I
Yeah,
was literally going
because
through
you
it.
had those fibroids too,
Yes,
right?
yes, I was going through it. And that's the only thing. The other thing that I could say maybe contributed to me getting breast cancer and the type of breast cancer I had is the history of prostate cancer in my family. My
Is there some
grandfather,
correlation or something with that?
yes,
Oh,
prostate cancer has a link to triple negative because
oh,
of the the BRCA genes. So
okay.
because my grandfather had prostate, his brother had prostate. That is my
Mm-hmm.
link to my breast cancer. Shout out to survive her. Lizzie, she had an event where she had a genetic advisor there, genetic doctor. And she brought that up and it was like a light bulb that just hit. And I was like, that's my link. And I asked her afterwards and she said yes. She said, why you ask? I said, did I hear you correct that prostate? She said, yes. She said, why you ask? I said, well, my grandfather and his brother had prostate cancer. And she said, and what type of cancer you had? I said, triple negative. And she said, that is your link. That is your link to your,
Really?
yeah, yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah. But the other interesting thing, I had genetic testing done and none of the genes popped up. Nothing in my history,
Really?
no nothing. So it's like it's the thing with I'm just glad now it's more people doing these type of testing to figure out what's going on with triple negative. Um why is it so it's widespread?
Because
And
I know from what I've read with triple negative, you get chemo, a lot of chemo, right? You had
yeah,
that chemo more?
I did 6 months of chemo.
Okay.
I literally did 6 months of chemo where I had the Keytruda as well, which that is one of the things that they added in for triple negative patients to see if that helps out with the not only the treatment but the reoccur to keep down the reoccurrence.
Oh, so you still take the Keytruda?
No, I had
Oh,
Keytruda during my
during your treatment.
yes during my
Okay.
treatment. Yes, every
Okay.
treatment that I had Keytruda.
And you don't have to take anything else now? Oh,
No,
God
no.
bless you.
Yeah, I'm extremely thankful. I hear a lot of stories of other people that went through their journeys, and I just be thankful every day, even with the surgeries. I just be thankful every day because it
I'm
could have
thankful that
went.
God saved you so we can meet.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Because
yes.
I want you to explain to everybody about this, how this mastectomy is done. You explained it, but a lot of people don't know how it's really done. Because remember, I asked you, is it the same thing that they give those stars,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So,
silicone? But
so
you had something different.
yes. So with the double mastectomy, my plastic surgeon and my oncology surgeon worked together. And how it worked is that I had the expanders. When I went in for my double mastectomy, both surgeons was there. So once they got done with my mastectomy, they cleared everything out. They did not do nipple sparing because which was explained to me so perfectly. The point of not doing nipple sparing is if you're trying to get rid of the cancer and you put the nipple back with the same tissue that you just took off, that you just had cancer with, why would you put it back on to your body
Right.
to expose you again?
It makes sense.
Yeah. So that when they explained that to me, I totally understood it. So my doctor, she did the double mastectomy, and then my plastic surgeon, he came in behind her and did the expanders. So my question, I'm always asking questions, which they told me, you always ask a question. I said, yes, because I want to know. And so
Exactly.
I asked him, I said, well, why I can't do the deep flap now? Why, you're taking out the tissue, just put, do it. They said, well, number one, we do not like to have you under that long to do that type of surgery, because with a deep flap, the deep flap is from 10 to 12 hours, depending on the doctor. And number two, they wanted to take my tissue that they was taking out, the breast tissue, to test it to make sure that the cancer was gone and that it wasn't any other cancer in my other breasts, so that
Okay.
way everything will be good when I do decide to do what I need to do. And plus, if it would have been cancer still detected, I would have had to do radiation. So that's the other reason why they don't like to go ahead and do the deep flap, because the radiation will actually, the tissue that they transfer from your stomach to your breast will actually burn and shrink in radiation.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
okay. So now that explains why I had radiation and this shrunk.
Uh-huh.
And and over here is tight
Uh-huh.
from and believe you me, it hurts. Because sometimes I thought I was having a heart attack. But
Exactly.
mhm.
But they did the expanders. I kept the expanders in, I want to say, for 3 to 4 months. Tissue expanders are, they look like implants, but they're not implants. They
Okay.
are placed in your breast to mold and shape your breast. So
Right.
what happens is the doctor, with my surgeon, Dr. S, a lot of my doctors I call because the name be so big, I have to get them nicknames. So
Yeah.
Dr. S, Dr. Shisherman, but Dr. S, he every 2 to 3 weeks, I would go in for them to put in fluid like saline in it to fill it up. His motto is he fills it up a little bit when he places them in, so he can kind of shape and mold how your breast is gonna look. Then
Right.
every 2 weeks, or however long you're gonna have the expanders, they put enough in to just keep bringing it up to the size that, number one, either A, you're comfortable with, or B, they're comfortable with.
Okay. So you can ask for what size you want?
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
so when I went for my consultation, I asked them for all surgical information, implants, deep flap, tram flap, all the different flaps. I was like, tell me about everything. And so once he told me, he said, well, what size would you like to be? I said, well, I'm an A cup right now. And I'm not
Mhm.
trying to be D, E, and F. I just want enough so that it can still be shaped for me to my body. So he told me, he said, stand up and bend over. And I stood up and bent over. He grabbed a little fat. He said, yeah, you got enough. So I told him I wanted to be like a nice high B or a low C. And he was like,
Okay.
that's fine. And he said, also, if I did want it to go bigger because of the fat that I had, if it was not enough, they would have had to put implants in. So I told him, no,
Oh.
I don't, I'm good. Or I could have did the tram flap. But I was like, nope, I'm good with what
What's
you're
that
gonna do.
tram flat?
So tram flap is where they take it from your back or your thighs. It's two different ones. I know one, they can take it from your back fat, or they can
Mhm.
take it from your thigh meat.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I like my thighs, so I didn't want to take my thighs.
It was like, leave them, right? Leave what I got.
Right.
See
And
what
so
God gave me, my thighs.
right,
Yeah.
right. And so with I did the deep flap in December of 2022. I did a revision, I want to say 6 months later. So with the revision, it is when a lot of times when you have the deep flap surgery, you have these things on the side of your waist that does like this, like it's like your fat, and they call them dog ears.
Okay.
So I had one on one side, and then one of my breasts I felt like needed a little bit more. So with the revisions, they go in to whatever you feel that you need, whether you need to um, get them shaped more, get more fat added in, or if you want, like some people might need fat taken out. It's all different things, and that's another thing that I didn't know, that I assumed that was not a part of my research. Is well, it was, because by this time I had got back on social media. And me and my
Okay.
sister, when she was here with me recovering from my mastectomy, we was looking at some of the people, saying they was having revision number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we was like, wait a minute, wait. I said, I thought that I was gonna be one and done. And that's not necessarily the case. So
Oh.
yeah. So I did do one revision. I'm thinking about doing another one because it's just a little bit right here where you can tell that it's just a little bit in the area of where my scars are, that's kind of dented in a little bit, that need a little bit more. You can't tell it with the bra on, but you can tell it with the bra on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you could actually see the scars here?
Well, not mine, not
Oh,
anymore.
okay.
Not anymore. So, but yes, you can't. My scars looked like a face.
Oh,
It was like eyes, nose, and my scar from hip to hip was my mouth. So it looked like
oh,
a face.
okay. So you had a face, for real.
Yes, I had a face. I had a face. And that's also because of the different way that they cut me with my breast. It was more how like an eye. So when they took the skin off to take the expander out and then put the fat, it was just easy just to take it out, put
Oh,
stuff
okay.
in. Yeah. Instead of, doing a cross, like some people have a cross and you may peel down or peel up. Mine was more stuff
Oh,
in, stuff out.
so yours was up here.
Yeah. It was
So they
more,
just stick it in,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you stick in your hand in your bra.
That's it.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, I
Yeah.
told you I didn't understand all this, but I know you did, because I know you did your research.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Now trust me, I was scared. My surgery was 12 hours and I did it. I spent Christmas in the hospital. So I want to say it was 2 days before Christmas when I got it done. And I was scared. That's a long
They
time to
put
be
those
under.
drains in you too?
Yes, I had to have
What's those
the
drains
bugs.
for?
So it's to drain the extra fluid of blood and all the icky
Oh,
stuff when you have surgeries out. And it's basically like it sucks it
okay. It's
full,
cleaning it
out of,
all out.
yeah. And a
Oh,
lot of
then when it's
people,
finished, that's when you go home or something?
no, you actually go home with those.
Oh,
You go home with them. So when I did my double mastectomy, I went home with 4. When I did my deep flap, I went home with 6 because you
wow.
had 2 here and 2 on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, because you had down there too. That
Hmm.
must have been something to
Yeah,
me.
it was quite interesting. Me and my sister really got to know each other a lot.
I see. She got to know your body a whole lot.
A whole lot.
She
A
got to know
whole
your
lot.
body and know what to do too. Well, that was your nurse, right?
Yeah, it
You
was
had that done in Texas?
yes, I had it done at Texas. My treatment came out of Houston Methodist. I went to the Willowbrook location. A lot of people go to MD Anderson here, which is fine, but I was okay with going with Methodist.
Is it because of the medical field that you're in that you knew to go there?
That's one reason.
Yeah.
The other reason is MD Anderson is a little bit more expensive.
Okay.
So if I had to recommend, which I'm not a doctor, I'm not a
Right.
nurse, but if I had to recommend a hospital, yes, MD Anderson is great, and Methodist is just as good as MD Anderson.
But I guess it all depends upon where you live at as well, too.
Exactly. Well,
So
a lot of people actually come in to MD Anderson. MD Anderson is #1 in the country.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's a little bit more expensive too.
yeah,
So,
that makes a difference. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah, and a little bit more
Because
expensive.
insurance paid for all of this?
My insurance paid for all of this. I had insurance with my job, so they paid for everything. Of course, once I did my co-pays and deductibles and
Right.
stuff. But yeah, it paid for everything. When I saw those bills,
I know they're a lot, right?
when I tell you, that's why I said it's about being thankful and grateful, because I
Yes,
hear so many stories of people not being able to get treatment or get the
I
right
know.
treatment, or their insurance don't cover this, or their doctor not in network with this. And so I'm just beyond thankful and grateful, because it could have been a whole different situation.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I said God knew what he was doing. He sent you
Mm-hmm.
to the right place, and plus you had your family around you,
Yes, my
and
sister. I love when I say I love my circle. Of course, like I tell you, I'm from Atlanta, so my family is all in Atlanta. My sister, she's the middle sister, Connie. She literally, it was her first year of retirement, and her first year of
oh,
retirement was spent with me, with the treatments,
that
with the
was awesome.
surgeries, with the
Kept
yeah.
her busy.
Yeah. She flew in, flew out, flew in, flew out, flew in, flew
Yeah, it kept
out.
her very busy.
Yes. And then my
Yeah,
other sister, she came for some of my treatment. My two close best friends, they came for some of my treatment. He was here. Making when they weren't here, of course he was here. Had to go through all of that with me. So
right.
it was it
So
was it
you
was
were
a
blessed.
challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a challenge, and I'm thankful and blessed that not only, like I said, I was able to get good treatment, I was being able to be covered for that treatment, and that I'm here now. I was able to see my son graduate from high school, my youngest son. I just entered in grandmother mode. My oldest son
uh-oh.
just had a baby. So those are the, things that I just be thankful for, because I
Right.
look back, 3 years ago, it was a totally different story. This time of year, 3 years ago, I was getting prepared to have chemo 3 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And you didn't, and did you, what was your side effects from the chemo? Did you have the red devil? Let me ask you that one.
Oh yeah, had the red devil. So red devil, Well, somebody told me not to call it the red devil. They said to call it the
The
red
blood of
angel,
Jesus.
the blood of Jesus. Yeah, the blood of Jesus, the red
Mhm.
angel, all of that. Okay.
But we know what it was because that I heard that one will take you out. Yeah.
I literally changed my diet. Remember I told you I was 180 pounds when I started February 28th. By
Mm-hmm.
the time I finished, I was down to about no, I was at 160. I was around 160. So I had lost 20 pounds. Um, what I did to prepare for my chemo every morning is, of course, always drink plenty of water.
Right.
During your chemo, after your chemo, before your chemo, just
Every day.
plenty of water. I always fast the day before my chemo, because when you go in, with a lot of people I've heard had to turn around that day and not get their chemo the day they were scheduled because of their levels. So of course, they test you for your red blood
And you
cells,
got to
white
get
blood
your
cells.
blood work done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if your blood work comes back abnormal or too high, too low, they won't give it to you. So what I used to do was I used to fast the day before and just drink plenty of fluid. I didn't eat, didn't drink, didn't do anything before my chemo. Once they took my labs and I'm like, I'm good, they was like, yes. I said, okay, I need my fruit. I need my little Cheez-Its. I need my little, I had my request. I had my green tea, I had my stuff together, and they, laid it out for me. The other thing that I liked it about Methodist Willowbrook, you had your own room. So I didn't have to be with nobody else. It was
That was
just me,
me.
my
Have my
thoughts.
own room.
Yeah, me, my thoughts, my headphones, my books, my laptop, whatever I wanted. I and they made sure whatever I wanted, they gave it to me. Now the side effects, that hyperpigmentation. So I just told somebody recently, and I've said this before. What I hope they change in the future by listening to patients, especially African American patients, Asian patients, Hispanic patients, anybody that's of other, please do not give us a blanket packet for all symptoms thinking it's for everybody, because it is not. Because we heal different, we take medication different, our bodies is different, our melanin is different. Nobody told me I was gonna get hyperpigmentation on my tongue.
Really?
Yes, nobody. It wasn't even in the packet. So when I noticed my taste buds was gone, I knew that was gonna happen. But then I went to check. I'm like, well, yeah. And I checked my tongue. I'm like, oh my god, my tongue is black. So I freaked out, and I'm texting, what's going on? What's going on? And my sister, she was saying that was the first chemo, and we was like, what's going on? Why is she? And they was like, that's a side effect of the
That
chemo
chemo, yeah.
because of your pigmentation. That's where your hyperpigmentation will come from. It'll
On
be
your
on your
tongue,
tongue.
huh? Oh,
Yes. So my mom never had chemo before, never had cancer before. My grandfather had cancer, but he didn't even have chemo. And she said, try um, baking soda and peroxide, mix it together, and try to get your taste buds back. Pop it, in your mouth, brush your teeth, and immediately my taste buds came back just like that. So
oh.
I went and got the next day Arm& and Hammer Peroxicare toothpaste. I used that my whole entire chemo treatment. And even after my chemo treatment, I never had any other issues with my taste buds after that ever again.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, yes. And
Somebody will learn something from you.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
'Cause-
Now the color of my tongue, I still feel like it's still trying to pop back in, but it didn't really come back like it was before.
Right.
The other symptom is neuropathy. So I had neuropathy in my hands and my feet. I said I was 3 years out, right? So I still have neuropathy in my right foot as we speak.
Did
Yes.
you try vitamin B6?
And that's what I was just about to say.
Because that's what
Because of
my
you,
oncologist, she told me, she asked the neurologist oncologist, and they told her to tell me to use vitamin B6, and it helped.
and thank you to you and Zanabe,
Oh, Zainab?
Zainab.
Mm-hmm.
I use that, and it's not as bad as it was. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible, and I've been using B6 and B12 every day, and
Yeah,
it's
because
been
I told her about it to
yes,
use that for, because that's what I learned. And I said, what's good about this community, we could teach one another different
yes,
things, or we could teach those who just going through it, how
yes,
we got through it by,
yes,
your attitude does a lot too when you're positive.
yes,
Yeah, you ain't go
yes,
in there all funky.
yes.
Yeah. You
So
gotta have a
those
good attitude.
those was my two major side effects, and my other one was the cognitive
Oh, okay.
ability. So
Oh, you mean your brain fog?
yeah, I had brain fog.
I still have it sometimes.
Me too. I had the brain fog, but I also had where my speech, where I couldn't put sentences together
I think
or
that's
complete.
part of that brain fog.
Yes,
Because
it
it's like you know what you want to say, but it's just not coming out.
yes, or
So
I forgot.
you're stuck.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
because it's like me, I'll be stuck and I'm like, I know what I want to say. I gotta think about it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still dealing with that from time to time. It's not as bad as it was, but I had another survivor told me, she said it wasn't just your chemo. She said you gotta think you did if you add in putting my port in, she said you did 4 surgeries under anesthesia plus chemo. That's why your brain is acting like that.
Oh, so I okay.
Yeah.
Because so you did have the port.
Yes, I had the port. Yes.
That thing was a lifesaver, I'll tell you.
Ooh, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give a short story on one day my port was clogged.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that they was gonna put it in my arm. I said, "No, you not." I said, "No." I said, "I don't know what y'all gonna do, but y'all gonna figure out how to unclog this port today." And
Yeah.
they did everything they could. They was doing everything, and they finally got it unclogged. And I said, "Oh Lord, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus."
Yeah.
I did not want it in my arm because, it's the stories that you hear, the things that you have
Right.
seen, the blowing of the vein and stuff. I was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not
I
doing
had the blowing of the vein. That's what made me get the port.
what?
Yeah. Because, well, they put it in the arm, and then the nurse was like, if I keep doing it to your arm, it's gonna
It's gonna
collapse.
blow. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they put it there. I had to go back and give her a hug. I was like, you know what? I just love you. You saved my life because they did the blood work and everything in there.
Yes, everything.
And I had mine in there for 18 months. So
Yes, 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 yes,
yeah, so that
yes,
was a lifesaver there.
yes, it was. Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
now, after you've gone through all of this, I know it affects your family. How did they were okay? They dealt with it?
um, my sons, I think the hardest part was telling my mom and telling my sons.
Okay.
Those were the people that hurt my heart the most when I told them. Me and my mom got closer. It
Hmm.
wasn't like we wasn't close, but we got so much closer. She had never used electronics or anything like that,
Well,
but
she had to learn.
yeah, she learned how to use the Alexa, and now that's one of our current things that we do. We use the Alexa to talk to each other.
Hmm.
My 3 sons, whew, that's the hardest conversation I could ever had. My youngest was actually still in high school at the time.
Hmm.
And, I was going through when I found out, and I was going through treatment. Not only that, he was still in the virtual world of learning how to with the schooling. So he was struggling with
Oh,
that,
okay.
and then the pandemic, and then me having cancer. So
He was all over the
he was
place with his
all over the
emotions.
place.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So his main focus was you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I had to, me and his dad, we talked to the teachers,
Hmm.
because at one point in time, his grades did kind of like slide a little bit. So we had to, tell the teachers he probably just, going through, still adjusting to being at home, being online, but also with me going through cancer. So we all worked together as a team to make sure that, he was good. And like I said, he graduated last year, and I was able to, witness that. But he took it the hardest because he was the baby. He's the baby.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, so
And
he,
now you can't get rid of him, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Probably stuck to
And
you
the
like
old,
this, right?
right, right. Him and the oldest took it the hardest. My middle son was more, well, what are they doing? What are they saying?
Oh, okay.
He's that type of person.
All right. He was like your significant other. He was
Yeah,
like this.
yeah,
You
like
had
was
a significant other in him.
Yeah, just like, but what are they
Yeah,
saying? What are
yeah.
they doing? What's the
So
treatment?
you had an
And let
even
me know.
balance.
Yeah, I had an
Mm.
even balance. Yeah,
And
so
now
it was
now since you've gone through this, when did you begin your Pink Breastie Sister?
okay. So Pink Breastie Sister was birthed through my pain. It was pain into purpose. So during my recovery from double mastectomy, I was thinking about ways that I could give back to the community. And I noticed when I got back on social media, I noticed that a lot of ladies was talking about their hair, their skin, their eyebrows, not, feeling like themselves or feeling pretty or feeling beautiful. And so Gregory, who was my three sons, their barber in Atlanta, I had let him know what was going on with me, and we would talk periodically. And I said, I really feel like God keeps showing me visions of beauty. He keeps showing me something saying, pop up, pop up, pop up. And he was like, well, what are you thinking about? I said, well, I want to do something to give back to the community, to the ladies dealing with cancer, breast cancer, something on like a beauty day, like a pampering day. And he
Right.
said, okay. He said, let me put some thoughts together. So he came back. He said, you want to do something here at the shop? And I said, yeah, let these visions keep coming together. And that was the birth of Pink Breastie Sista. My first event was in Atlanta, and the event is called Pop Up Breastie Beauty Bar. And at this beauty bar is a day that I give back for free to the community, to the breast cancer community, a day of pampering where you can get your hair done, haircuts, makeup done, spa treatments. We haven't started doing nails yet, but it's coming.
Okay.
And we also have where we give out door prizes. We have food. Everything is free. You just have
Oh,
to
that's
sign
nice.
up. Yeah, and we have people come in to talk about mental health. We At each event we've had mental health, we've had sexual health, we've had discussions about makeup, the toxicity in makeup. We've talked about insurance, bras, styling, all different kinds of things.
Yeah, things that breast cancer survivors or those going through it, they're ashamed to talk about it elsewhere, but they have that
Yes,
platform.
yes, yes. And so we
I
have
like that.
yes. And so when I started in Atlanta, um, I said, well, I know I say here in Houston, I can't just be here and not do something here in Houston. So we did one here in Houston. And so with us doing it here in Houston, we actually partner up with Ogle Beauty School here in Houston. And what we do, we have it at the school where the students give back and do services on the survivors, but they also get a chance to learn about how to handle breast cancer patients, how
Right,
to um, be personable with them, how to handle their hair, how to handle their skin. And then we have stylists that comes in that are already stylists that mentors them on how to do hair. So it's a collaboration, not just for the survivors, but also for the community to come together for
right,
one big cause. But it's also a networking because a lot of the students that are at Ogle is mostly younger women, and they really don't know anything about, breast cancer and how it can affect the skin and how the hair and how if you have a survivor that comes in to say, well, I have on a wig, I don't want to get, my hair done. I just want my scalp massaged and those type of conversations. So it's a win-win across the board. So we not only have Pop-Up Breasty Beauty Bar, we have the Paint Through Your Pain, which also was developed.
that sounds like fun. Paint through your thing. I like that.
Yes, Paint Through Your Pain. So I had a co um, host with me on the first one, and she was dealing with mental health illness as far as like anxiety and depression. And then with us, with cancer survivors. And this event, I actually opened it up to cancer survivors across the board, not just breast cancer, and the caregivers. So at these events, you are creating through your pain, and we would pick different things to create. So the first event we did rugs, that doormats for your front door, back door, however you want to put it, and then the second event, which was last year, we did pillows. And
Oh, that's
so
nice.
each year is something different, but it gives the opportunity for the caregivers and the cancer survivors to come together to have a day where they can bond as well as listen to each other's stories.
I was gonna
And
say, and they're listening to the different stories of what each
yes,
one goes through, because no two stories are the same.
yes, exactly. And we always, 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 with any of my events, we always try to focus on the mental health piece. I really do think people sometimes forget that, yes, our tumor is gone, our cancer is gone, but sometimes it's
Up
still
here,
here.
it's
It's
still
still
there.
here. It's
Yeah,
still here. It's
yeah.
still here for us. And so that's why it is imperative that we do focus on your mental health, your emotional health, as well as your physical health.
And you know, yeah, because I know that a lot of them, I see them, they struggle with their beauty, you know.
Yes,
And and
yes,
and I'm not one for wearing things on my
yes,
head.
yes.
I lost mine. I mean, it's
Mhm.
a little hair there, but you know, it took a while.
Yeah,
It was a cultural shock. I was like,
yes,
oh. And I said,
yes,
me, the
yes,
vainest person in the world, have to
yes.
lose my hair.
And that's the thing. When they
Yeah,
told me that that was going to be a side effect, I already knew that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lose my hair. But when it actually happened, I lost my mind. I
yeah.
literally went into a shell because I had locks, and my locks was down to like in the middle of my back,
Well,
almost to
nobody told you to
my
cut
boo
your hair
boo.
off, huh?
And I literally did this, and it just started falling out,
Yep.
and I had to go get them cut. And I cried. I cried like a baby in that because you and like you say, it's not about being vain. It's almost just like you're losing a part of yourself
Yeah.
to something that you never thought
Yep.
it would be you.
And then to not have it on your hair
Yeah.
when it's there, you appreciate it.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
then you learn to take care of it.
Yes. Yes.
Or
Absolutely.
you will learn that all those chemicals and the stuff you're putting in your hair, it's seeping through just through your skin.
Yeah.
So all that stuff was not good for you either.
Exactly. And just like people tell you to read your labels for your food, you need to read your labels for the stuff
Yeah.
you put on your skin, not just in your body, but what you put on your body.
Yeah. When I was at Sloan Kettering, this technician, she told me to use this thing called Think Dirty. It's an app,
Uh-huh.
and it
Okay.
will tell you what's clean and what's not clean. And so she was like, use it for your body. And, you know, so I said they have makeup there that tells you what's not clean. Cause, you know, I said, I'm trying to get into that. I know
Yes.
I
Yes.
wear makeup, but I want to wear something that, you know,
That's natural and that's clean and
yeah,
that's not
yes,
going
yes,
to
yes,
affect you in the long run.
right. And I
Yes.
said, you gotta really, I mean, you gotta really read labels. Even like with the water, when you drink out of those bottles,
Yes. Yes.
come to
Yeah.
find out, some lady, she did something and she said it was in her urine. She did a test.
Uh-huh.
That BHP thing was in her
Yep. The
urine.
something on the
Yeah,
plastic.
the
And
plastic.
yeah, yeah.
I
You
was
just
like,
got to
wow.
be mindful of everything that you do when it comes to your
And I
body.
said, before we didn't have cancer, we
Mhm.
were nilly willy.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree. I was just telling my son, I said, like I said, the wine all in the refrigerator. Now, no wine in the refrigerator.
Yeah,
Don't,
see?
because it's like, no, no, no. I just can't. No. So,
Yeah, the cold cuts that we used to like to
yes,
eat.
yes,
And
yes.
I'm like, I'll eat it once in a while, but that can't be me all the time.
Oh,
Mm,
no, no,
no,
no,
mm-mm,
no,
no, no, no, no, no, no, no.
no.
And then I thought about candy when I used to eat candy, and I said, that's probably why I was getting heavy.
Yep, the
'Cause I
sugar,
like, yeah, the
all the
sugar
sugar.
from the candy. I was
Uh-huh.
like, wow.
Even like they's talking about the different dyes in the
Yeah,
food,
that
the
dye,
candy, the red
the
dye, and all
red
this stuff.
three. Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah.
I was like, and then I went home and I'm looking in my cabinet and I'm like, let me make sure I got no red 3 here. And I had a
Yeah.
bag of rice in there and they had that red 3. That bag of rice went in the garbage.
That's right. That's
I
right.
was like, no,
That's right.
can't
That's
feed the
right.
cancer. Can't feed it no more.
No, no. Do everything you can
No.
not to
Well,
feed
well,
it.
tell us about your bracelets, though. You got
Yeah.
other things going on. You got those nice bracelets.
Yes. So with Pink Breastie Sister, um, of course, with merch, comes the line of our line is PB22. And with PB22, we do custom made bracelets, we do custom made pins, we do custom jerseys, football, basketball, and baseball. And we have like different shirts with different sayings on it. So with my bracelets, that came about what I wanted to do to give back to the ladies that put their arms around me and held me close with their love, their hugs, their prayers, whether it was here in Houston, whether it was East Coast, whether it was West Coast. I said, I want to do some bracelets. So one day I just sat down and I just started doing bracelets and finding little African American breast cancer charms. And each bracelet, everyone has a different bracelet. So my sisters, my niece, my best friends, a couple of my coworkers, all of them have bracelets, but they all different. It was specially made for them as a thank you for them to be around me. So I said, if that's one of the signature things that I did for them, I started doing it for the pop up Breastie Beauty Bar, to where each participant I sit and hand make those bracelets
Oh,
for
you
them and
sitting there
give
and
them.
making them while they're there?
No, I give it to them in their
Oh,
bag.
you make, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I give it to them in their bag, and then
That's awesome.
once we started doing it here, I started doing the pins for the people who support, as
Hmm.
well as the people who come to help. So I give them the actual custom made pins, and the pins they look
Oh,
like, you remember the old baby pins,
yeah,
the big ones. That's what it's
yeah.
made of, the big baby pins.
Oh, I gotta give me some of them. Well, I already saw the bracelets and nobody else saw the bracelets, but they're awesome. But
Yes,
you're gonna tell
yes,
people how they can get in touch with you. Do
yes.
you travel? If somebody asks you to travel, I know they gotta pay you for your coffee or whatever.
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
do. I am open to traveling. I know a lot of people have been saying the pop-up Breastie Beauty Bar, like, oh, I wish we had something like this here. And so we are working on expanding
Very
outside
good.
of Atlanta and
Okay.
Houston. That will
Okay.
be further coming next year. We're working
Okay.
on that. But yes, I do. I am open to collaborations, traveling, and how people can reach me is at pinkbreastiesista.com, or you can reach me at pinkbreastiesista@gmail.com.
And then IG. Pink Breastie
IG,
Sista
TikTok,
at
and Facebook.
IG. Yeah.
But IG, TikTok, and Facebook, you can find
See, I
me
know
as
how to find you.
yes, you can find me as Pink Breastie Sister on TikTok and IG. On Facebook, you can find me as Pink Breastie Sister Presents.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I appreciate this was nice, Tamika. Thank
Thank you.
you.
No, thank you for having me on your platform.
Thank you. I finally got to hear your whole story.
Yes,
Yes,
and I
and
hope that's
like I
something that
said, Tamika is a part of the resilience of Black women confronting breast cancer, where
yes,
we are transparent and we talk about everything on there. Everything. And all the ladies are transparent. There's only 8 of us too, and it's really a good group.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So
But
let's
I hope that people learned something tonight. It's just a little something extra, not just about me, but about double vasectomies, deep flaps, triple negative, the organization, being there for others. I think that's what my motto has always been when I started the organization, is being there for others. That's where my passion is. And it's not about me, it's about collaborating and being surrounded by our sisters and even our brothers that are suffering from
Yeah.
breast cancer, because they need to be acknowledged as well too, because men get breast cancer too.
Wouldn't
So
it be nice if all the organizations just came together as one
yes, yes.
to
And look, in
collaborate
these
with
day and
everything
times,
that they have going on? Because each one has something to offer to the community.
yes. And that's
That
why,
would be awesome.
yes, and that's why with some of the organizations that I do affiliate myself with or support and they support me, it's always where we help each other. And
Right.
so that's what it's all about. It's not about us, it's about shining a light on the survivors, shining a light on helping and being there for the survivors.
Well, I thank you because you helped me with the podcast.
And thank you. No,
And
thank you.
shine the light on it. You shine the light. Yes.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Okay, well, we're going to conclude with tonight's episode for the first one of Black History Month. And we're going to thank Tamika for taking out the time to come on and share her journey. With
Yes.
that, we'll be back again. You'll see Tamika next Thursday.
Yes.
Yep. And we will have the whole group of the resilience of Black women confronting breast cancer. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.